The actions that we have seen coming from the White House and this administration in the nearly 2 years since the election have raised all kinds of signal flares, alarm bells. We have to defend the fundamental values and ideals of the American democracy.
This was some interview. Hillary Clinton slamming President Trump, warning that his authoritarian tendencies could damage American democracy as we know it. America's A-Team is lined up. Brad Blakeman, former Deputy Assistant of President George W. Bush, Richard Fowler, Fox News contributor, and James Freeman of the Wall Street Journal editorial page and a Fox News contributor. Gentlemen, Dave, I think James should sit between you two guys.
Oh.
Right? Would that be more fair?
We're going to start out like that, huh?
It's the end of democracy as we know it, Brad. It's over, man. You can take the L out of lover.
Well, if Hillary says it must, be true. But, you know, Hillary should take the advice of General MacArthur. Old soldiers don't die, they just fade away. She needs to go away. The Democratic Party is full of has-beens. You've got Biden and Hillary and Bernie.
And Fowler?
And Fowler, yeah.
Poor guy over here.
But the other thing is, if you don't have has-beens, you have socialist Democrats.
Oh, come on.
So I think their party is in crisis. I wouldn't, if I were advising Democrats, is Hillary just needs to buy an island and rule that.
Did we miss something that happened in the green room? Because you guys came in hot. Okay, what do you
listen, I won't address some of Brad's comments, but here's what you do know. What the president said today in the interview with Hill TV, where he says, I don't have an attorney general, that sort of speaks to what Hillary Clinton is talking about in this op-ed. Remember, Jeff Sessions, while appointed by the president, serves the American people. And when you say, I don't have an attorney general, when he took an oath of the Constitution, I think that's what's problematic, and that's what she's speaking to. Attacking faithful workers at the Justice Department that uphold our Constitution every day is very problematic, and it's undemocratic.
James?
Yeah, I think if you're going to say who is the authoritarian, not by leaked anonymous quotes, but by actions, you'd say which candidate ran in 2016 arguing to limit the first two amendments of our Constitution? Which candidate wanted to limit the ability of people to make a documentary film about her? We're getting these scare stories, but there's no there there. The whole case, it's a lot of adjectives and it's a lot of references to his tweets and his comments, but where is the fundamental attack on American institutions? It hasn't happened.
Well, here she is talking about the implications of just that she discussed, the threat to American democracy on our midterm elections.
If we don't have a very big rejection of those tendencies come in this midterm election, I think you will only see more of these attacks on our institutions, on our norms, on the rule of law that could do lasting damage.
You want her to go to an island, is that what you said,
Yeah,
Brad?
I mean, they're wealthy enough. Just buy an island and rule that.
Keep dreaming. She's not going to. I think it's hard for people like Hillary Clinton to keep their mouth shut during a time like this. I mean, when you want to hold back, because the resistance on the left is so strong against this administration and this president.
It was from day one. The resistance continues, but to no avail. You know, if I were advising Republicans, I think the strategy for the midterm should be you can't argue with success. Donald Trump is like a president we haven't seen probably ever, but he is getting results for the American people. Unorthodox? Absolutely. Sometimes his rhetoric is over the top, for sure. But the bottom line is he's honoring the promises. As a matter of fact, Donald Trump has underpromised and over-delivered on the economy, on taking on our adversaries. So Donald Trump is doing exactly what he promised to do, which may be a little foreign to people who listen to politicians.
Interesting. Sorry, what was your slogan again? It was...
You can't argue with success.
Okay.
Herein lies the problem. The president, the rhetoric, you talk about his rhetoric, but truth be told, when you're the president of the United States, your rhetoric actually matters. And when the president of the United States goes out and says that the journalists are enemies of the people, that is problematic. And that speaks to why our democracy is in danger. The journalists have a job to be accountable. They have a job to hold the government accountable. They have a job to ask tough questions.
The president is being adversarial, which is exactly what needs to be done.
Don't call them enemy of the people.
Wow.
No president's ever done that.
Well, he's got First Amendment rights just like the rest of us. And I think if you want to talk about a threat to our First Amendment rights, you think about his predecessor and the investigation of this network and the Associated Press. But I think what's also disturbing in that Clinton interview is, in terms of respect for our institutions, she's talking about how the people who were not elected in the government need to control the person who was elected president.
Now I'm going to have to stop you right there. Let's be very clear, and let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is Jeff Sessions. He was appointed by his colleagues, and he was appointed by the president, approved by the United States Senate. He has a job to manage the Justice Department, which upholds the Constitution.
I'm going to stop this for just a second, because we want to get this breaking news in here, because we're going to transition to Brett Kavanaugh and George W. Bush.